A very good evening to you from the Peace and Friendship Stadium in Athens. The competition at the centre of attraction tonight, the men's 77 kilo class, 170 pounds, over 12 stone. And these are the 10 lifters. Vanev, the world champion, twice world champion. Yeliashkov, his own teammate from Bulgaria, who was also world champion last year. Then Salem Badir, otherwise known as Pedatanov of Bulgaria, formerly European champion. Yilmaz of Turkey, bronze medalist last year in the world. Then Mitru of Greece, the only home representative. Malikian, really inexperienced, this 23-year-old Armenian. Another of the representatives from Qatar, this is Soufiane Nader, formerly Ivanov from Bulgaria. And then Jean Jougang, the Asian Games and Asian champion. Kakatur Kapanixian, the Snatch world record holder. Well, he was until this competition started, and more of that in a moment. And then Li Hongli, the junior world champion.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So this is the story in the back room. The men warming up, 11 lifters, 4 from Europe, 2 from Qatar, 2 from Armenia, and 2 from China. And this was a little earlier today. This is Ili Kazan, Rasvan Ili from Romania in the B group earlier today. The Snatch, and not before in this championship have we had one. We've had several lifters in the B group who should, we discovered, have been in the A group, and he lifts that Snatch at 170 kilos to take a new world record. He takes it away from Kapanixian of Armenia, who snatched 168.5 kilos in the European Championships earlier this year in May. Well, once again, good evening. I'm David Goldstrom. Alongside me, David Morgan, veteran of 5, is it?
7.
Commonwealth, 7 Commonwealth Games, and who knows, even an 8th one. As we look at this...
Sorry, 7 Commonwealth medals, 5 Commonwealth Games. And
5 Commonwealth Games.
And I don't think it will be a 6th one.
Badir of Qatar, the first of their 2 men. Andrei Ivanov, until a couple of weeks ago. And 155, and that should be well within his compass. We've got him down with our Bulgarian colleagues as capable of certainly 162.5, so a very safe opener there.
Yes, usually gets all his attempts in. Nice solid start there.
Well, this competition, this Snatch competition of men's 77 kilos, which you join us for, is really coming to the boil now. Everybody's opened up, the 10 lifters in what is a very competitive category, 170 pounds, 12 stone, over 12 stone. And this is one of the 2 men from Qatar who, until a couple of weeks ago, had a Bulgarian name and represented Bulgaria. This is Nader, the lesser of the 2 in terms of achievement so far, Soufiane, and he fails his 3rd snatch there. 157.5 he's got, but unfortunately not able to go any further. There's the stats on the bottom there. The Bulgarians who sold a group of, not to be disrespectful to them, David, 2nd string lifters, although you could hardly call Peter Tanev, who's in this competition also for Qatar, under his new name of Naif Salim Badir, for allegedly some $1 million. And now they find themselves up against their own teammates of just a few weeks ago. And this is Vanev, I should say, the world title holder, on for his 3rd lift.
Well, that's a real setback for him.
Well, it is, because he's left on 157.5 kilos, and I would think, David, that his destiny rests entirely now on how much further the rest can go away from him.
That's right, and I should think that a lot of these athletes will have had a sigh of relief with the man who broke the world record earlier not managing to get a total, because even if he'd just managed his opener at 200, that would have taken him to 370.
Yes, and 370 is only 2.5 kilos behind the world standard. Nobody's ever achieved that, and we'll just have to wait and see whether anybody's really going to get near that. But there's quite a few lifts to come. You've really joined us at exactly the right point, because the cards are really beginning to be played. Now, this is Vanef's teammate, Yeliashkov, the European silver medalist this year. He was convincingly beaten by Bursky, of his own teammate from Bulgaria, which forced him to move up. And it could well be that Bulgaria's hopes are now going to rest on his shoulders. This is his second attempt, 165, to go second to the man who lifted earlier. Oh, that's very good.
Yes, and this increase in body weight is reflecting in increased poundages. That's 5 kilos more than he lifted as a 69 kilo lifter, and he still has one attempt left.
Well, I just need to do a little bit of maths here, because the thing is that Razvan Ili of Romania, he weighed in today at 76.75, whereas Yeliashkov, who's just made that successful lift, weighed in at 76.85. So that means that, in fact, that man who you just saw there, Yeliashkov, would have to go and break the world record, the new world record, to actually get ahead. He'd have to go to
172.5.
Exactly. An 11.5 kilo increase. Big question, that. This is Turkey's Yilmaz.
Yes, and the trouble is, I don't think anybody will really be feeling like taking an extravagant jump, because, as you say, this is such a close competition. 2.5 kilos or even body weight could mean dropping 3 or 4 places.
In other words, everybody's got to think of the end game. Victor Mitru, well, he looked very good, I thought, on the first lift, but 160, now to 165. Now, Mitru, by contrast with Tanev, or Badir as we should call him, from Qatar, is actually lighter. So this means that he could get ahead of the Romanian, who leads the competition from the B group, if he lifts this the next time exceeds at 170.
Well, that's the best I've seen him, David. That's the best I've seen this man lift.
Well, on the way up here to our commentary position, I passed a very good colleague of ours, Nikos Sonis, the head of sport for Greek television here, and he sort of said, Mitru. And I said, well, we haven't seen much of him this year, and he said he's prepared for this silently, quietly, and the 2 lifts he's put in so far do suggest that he's in good form. So, from Europe now to Asia, and 19-year-old Li Hongli, the junior world champion. They think a lot of this young man, but he's surpassing now his junior world record, if he lifts this, junior world record of 165 kilos.
Yes, he's not explosive, he's just incredibly strong.
Well, he's got one more chance, but of course that's a setback to put him on terms with the Romanian.
So big jump for Tanev. Although, of course, it's not Tanev.
No, it's Badir.
Badir.
27 years of age. Most of the Bulgarians, including these men who now live for Qatar, to be honest, are still in Bulgaria and they're training there. It all went through, I must say, amazingly quickly. 4 months to change nationality, get Olympic accreditation and everything else. But the motivation for the Bulgarians is to earn money with which they can prepare for their Olympic challenge in Sydney. The motivation for Qatar, get medals at the Olympic Games to put their country on the map.
Well, that's a surprise, David. I thought they were asking too much of him. But look at that. That was fantastic.
But it
It really does get under that bar quick. Of course, you see, the first phase, you're just creating momentum. And then the quicker you can get under. I mean, the idea is to get under the bar before it starts travelling back down towards the platform. And he does that very well. And I believe that's a personal best for him.
I'm sure it is. 157.5 he lifted in in May in the Europeans. Big improvement. Now, Zhang Zhugang, Olympic champion at 70 kilos. Third attempt. Come on, Zhang. And that drops him down to 162.5. See, that leaves him 7.5 kilos behind the Romanian. And absolutely right, when he failed to get that total, failed on all 3 clean and jerks, the Romanian, they all must have breathed a massive sigh of relief. Yilmaz of Turkey. And 165 kilos on the bar. Third and final attempt.
Yes, he's done this weight before. Looks strong enough.
But he does have this worrying habit of missing a high percentage of lifts. He's got a high, you know, very few does he make. There's another one. And Turkey, a great force during the early 90s. Mutlu was bursting on the scene, Naim Suleimanoglu at the height of his powers. But they're a shadow of their former selves at the moment. And I think it's too little time to turn the situation around before the Olympics. I think if Suleimanoglu, if his comeback preparation continues and Mutlu stays fit and healthy, those are their 2 chances. But for the next Olympic cycle, they're going to have to rebuild the team. Meanwhile, this is Lee, second attempt at a junior world record. And out the back again.
Yeah, I really must get a spirit level to that platform, David. I've never seen, ever, so many people losing weights behind. And it's happening in both the men and the women.
Record holder, 31-year-old Kakatur Kapanixian from Armenia. Really experienced. He's been on the team for over 15 years. Kapanixian with 162.5, so this is a 5-kilo increase. And he weighed in at 76.77, which, frustratingly for him, is fractionally heavier because Răzvan Ili of Romania, 76.75. So he'd have to go to 172.5 if he's successful after this.
Well, that puts him into the silver medal position anyway. And still 1 lift remaining, so he has to make the decision. Does he take 170 and settle for perhaps the silver, but, you know, add another 2.5 kilos to go towards that total, or does he go for the gold with 172.5? Big decision.
There's Mitru with a lift and Yeliashkov with a lift and Kapanixian with 1 lift as well. So it's very important how the cards are played now. The coach is really watching the tactics, and as you say, they've got to keep Răzvan Ili's performance in mind all the time. So Mitru, 167.5, weighed in at 76.67. So that's lighter than Kapanixian. And it's lighter than Yeliashkov, but he can't reach the Romanian even if he gets this. And the first mistake, and it leaves Mitru on 165 kilos. So it's Răzvan Ili of Armenia in the lead, and then Kapanixian, and then for Qatar, it's Badir, formerly Peter Tanev. And so with Mitru having lifted out. There are just 2 lifts to go, Kapaniksian and Yeliashkov.
Well, the bar's now gone to 170 kilos.
So here's Yeliashkov, 170 kilos. Now, he weighed in at 76.85. This is heavier than Razvan Ili. So even if he lifts this is only good enough for silver. But it's exactly what you said earlier, David. They're looking at the end game, winning the overall title.
That's right.
Because they know that once the snatch is over, they can discount the Romanian. Can he lift it?
Yeah.
So the man who's moved up has taken over from the man who held the title, his own Zlatan Vanev teammate. And Yeliashkov it is who moves up now into the silver medal position.
Yes, and he certainly looks a lot better at this body weight than he did at 69. Really suits him.
I think there's a world record coming. I think Kapaniksian, well, now this is really interesting. Going for the world record at the moment at 170.5, but it wouldn't give him the gold medal. What do you make of that?
Well, this is what we talked about before. It's crazy that somebody can break the world record, but of course that half a kilo doesn't count in the competition. It's only counted as 170, and if the other person that snacked to be lighter, then okay, you get the world record, but they get the gold medal. It's crazy.
Yes, he would have to go to 172.5 kilos if he wanted to get the gold medal, and obviously he realises his own limitations. So he said, well, I'll have the record, but worth it because it's going to keep him on terms with Kapaniksian. I should say he's going to keep him on terms with Yeliashkov of Bulgaria.
It's quite confusing to explain this to the layman. I won the silver, but I broke the world record. Oh, well, there it is.
Well, Razvan Ili has held the world record, taking it away from this man for what? Something like 2.5 hours more, and Kapaniksian has got his record back. 168 it was, and he's taken it to 170.5, and the Romanian's moment of glory is now over. Having said that,
He still has the gold medal.
the gold medal is some consolation prize for the Romanian, and he'll be on stage for the prize giving a little later. So, the gold medal in the snatch goes to Razvan Ili. Kapaniksian takes the silver, Yeliashkov takes the bronze, and we'll be back with part 2, the clean and jerk, after these messages here on Eurosport. Yeliashkov is currently, David, languishing in 10th place. In fact, he's further down than that because he hasn't really got a successful lift in on the clean and jerk, so he hasn't got a total at the moment. But he's going for 197.5. So this would give him 360.5.
Which would, in fact, put him in the lead at the moment.
Yes, that would put him 5 kilos ahead of Mitru again.
Needs to hold.
Oh, he won't have been happy having to hang that bar on his head for such a long time. Now, he goes ahead of Mitru. The only thing is that Mitru is lighter, so even though it's still the 5 kilo advantage, Mitru's got a little bit closer because he's got the lighter body weight. So it's Yeliashkov, Mitru, 367.5, plays 362.5. Then Badir, who like Mitru has got 2 lifts left, he's on 360. And Kapaniksian has got 1 lift left on 360. And a bit slightly worried that we haven't seen Kapaniksian for the 3rd lift.
Yes, I don't think he's coming out for a 3rd lift.
Zhang Zhugang, the other man, the world record holder, we must not forget him, or indeed Vanev of Bulgaria. Now this is Nadir, 190 kilos the first one. That gave him a total of 347.5. He's now trying to go 357.5 with a 10 kilo increase. This is a big question he's asking of himself.
Yes, and of course, this is another of the ex-Bulgarian lifters favouring the closer grip on the clean and then taking the hands wider for the jerk.
Well, that's real fight. Come on.
Feet to
Come
hold.
on. Steady, feet in line. That is a really gutsy effort.
Qatar.
Spirit of Qatar. Good stuff. It's always great when you see someone really fight for it like that.
Yeah, it seems like there's a bit of needle between the Qatars and the Bulgarians.
Well, because these guys, in a tough way, were regarded as the second string Bulgarians. So they're now proving, no, we weren't the second string. Now here's the other one. From Nada to Bada. Very complicated.
This will actually put him into second place overall, if successful.
Yeah, he was on 195, so this will take him to 365 as a total. Leap ahead, but still be behind Yeryashkov. Still has one more lift.
And he hasn't made a mistake yet. Oh, lovely. Nice.
Well, this is the man they paid most of the money for.
Certainly the most convincing clean and jerk in this class so far.
We're only 6 kilos short of the world record. I wonder whether we're going to get there. It may be, David, that they might just fall shy of it. So here's Kapanixian. He has got that one lift left, and well, we thought he might call it a day. He's never been a great force in this, but he's taking a huge lift now for him. 10 kilos up. He opened on 190, didn't get it. Then he did get it the second time. He would have had a much easier path up to 200 kilos. So he's trying here to really go back to 370 and get it into the lead, which might just give him a bronze medal overall if all the luck went his way. But he's got to get this first, and he's got 10 seconds.
He's obviously had some massage on that calf. Well, that's good.
Needs to chuck this. This is the moment, possibly for a medal. I thought he was going to get that. I really thought he was there. The split was good.
Not known for his clean and jerking, but that was impressive. I know he didn't get the lift, but it was. I didn't think he'd get anywhere near it.
Well, it leaves him out of the overall medal race. He's got a silver from the snatch, and of course he's got the world record in the snatch. But just buckles when I thought he was going to complete it. Well, Armenia still centre stage. This is his teammate, also going for 200 kilos. Now, this would take him up to 360, and that's the same total as Kapanixian, his teammate. And Malikian would actually go ahead in the total. So the young man could impudently overtake Kapanixian. Kapanixian, I suppose, not being unkind, at 31. Coming to the end of his career, whereas the other man, this man, plenty of years ahead. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Very good. So these Armenians are really producing good performances. loves that, and that's thank you very much. And the Battle of the Armenians has been won by Arsen Malikian at the age of 23, getting ahead of Kakatur Kapanixian. So that's his personal moment to take back to Armenia.
Yes, hard clean, followed by a very, very solid, strong jerk.
State of play. Galiashkov of Bulgaria leads. He's got one lift left, and this is the one. He's going to 200 kilos. It could give him a total of 370, but only 5 kilos behind him, if he gets this, that is. Badir with 1 to go, and 7.5 kilos back Mitru of Greece with 2 to go. And then catch up, Zhang Zhugang of China, Vanev of Bulgaria, both of those men with 2 lifts to go. So this is far from over. Looks good. 3 whites, 370. Now it's wait and see. Very interesting how Vanev moved up from 1997 from 70 kilos to win in 98 the 77, and here's Geliashkov moving up from 69 last year to try and win the 77 this. And jerk, the final phases of lifts. On stage now, the world record holder, 4 position, coming from way back at the halfway stage in the snatch, only 8th place. Now trying to lift 202.5 kilos.
Which he does.
And this is going to really zoom him up the table. Yeliashkov of Bulgaria leading with 370, ahead of Badir of Qatar in 2nd place on 365, and 202.5 to go with 162.5. Takes Zhang into bronze medal position on 365 behind Badir, because he's, well, in fact, they're on exactly the same body weight. So it's going to be a question of who lifted first, who was drawn first, if it comes down to that, which goodness knows, let's hope it doesn't. Now here's Mitru, the only hometown boy in the competition. Yakovu, the coach, looking on. So Mitru, 6th at the halfway stage, only 165 kilos, going for 202.5. This would give him
367.5, so we'll put him into 2nd place.
Absolutely.
At the moment.
Oh, it's heavy, but he often looks pained. Split, fights for it. Yes, yes. And Victor Mitru of Greece puts himself back in medal contention. It's 2-1. Now the central referee didn't like that. So let's have a look why, David. What did you spot?
I thought it was a good lift. I thought it was a hard lift. It was a well-fought lift.
Mitru, the man who missed an Olympic medal in 1996 in the 76 kilo class by 5 kilos, but that looks all right to me.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This man missed a medal, finishing 4th in the snatch. Formerly Peter Tanev, now Sayem Nayef Badir. I should say it's Nadir. My apologies, I've got confused now between the two of them. I think like Formula 1, they should have a different number on this. On there.
Well, he's having a really good day. Look at that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's taken him to 360. Again, he's not in the medals. But he really has improved. Sufyan Abbas Nadir, to give him his correct name, from Qatar, formerly Andrei Ivanov. one of the 8 transfers. And these guys are really laying it down to their former teammates. And you're absolutely right. I'm sure there's needle here. We want to prove it that we're the team. And it's not only the lifters, it's also the coaches that have gone with them. It was a package deal.
So the bar now going to 205 kilos. We're just 1 kilo off of the world record. And this time is for Bader.
This time it will be for Bader. It's like better and worse, really, isn't it? Now, this is a really important lift. This would give him 370. Now, let's just take this alone. Zhang Zhugang's got 1, and Mitru's got 1.
And the important thing with this is that it will actually put him into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight over Playman.
But the interesting thing, Vanev has still got 2 to go. So this is his 3rd attempt. It's going to put him into a medal position.
But it's going to put him into the gold if he succeeds at the moment.
Absolutely. But he still could be pushed out of that gold medal position because of the number of lifters that there still are. But nonetheless, he's got a good chance of a medal here if he can do this.
Well, he's looked good so far. He's got every lift in.
6 out of 6, it's there.
So
the new leader, by virtue of lighter body weight, the former Bulgarian Peter Tanev takes over from Plamen Yeliashkov. 2 weeks ago, they were teammates. Now they're rivals.
There's no mistake with those elbows, really high.
Chucks this very solid. And makes no mistake once it's there. Mitru also going for 205. No attempts at the world record here. This is about winning the class. 205 kilos would take him to 372.5. It would give him the gold medal position, but it would drop to 2nd. Yeliashkov would go to bronze, but there's still Zhang Zhugang, and there's still 2 lifts for Vanev.
Or is it 3? This will take him to 370.
That's 372. Mitru's got 372.5.
No, he snatched 165. This is 205, so this will take him to 370.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. My apologies. My apologies. It would put him in. It was keep him where he is basically because of body weight. Oh well, no, he goes 2nd.
And he's had a good day.
1. They made him wait for an eternity there. But the centre judge is being very particular today. Not for the first time isolated in terms of decisions, but you're right, David, just 2.5 kilos up, but it gives him 370.
Well, that actually puts him into 2nd place.
Now, the situation here is that Badir leads, Mitru's 2nd, Yeliashkov's 3rd. Zhang Zhugang, the world record holder, is going for a new world record in a moment.
He has to.
He has to, and there's Vanev still lurking in the wings with 2.
Well, as I said, Vanev has done 212.5, so he could literally come from nowhere.
Now, this is 5 kilos up. This is going to put Zhang Zhugang onto the same total as Badir. If he does, he'll go 370, and they're on the same body weight. Can he do it? Oh, no, he can't! Zhang Zhugang, the Olympic champion, the Asian champion, the Asian Games champion, finishes. And that means that Qatar now definitely have got their first ever World Championship medal, and it could be gold. It could be gold.
But let's wait and see what Vanev wants. What does he want? Vanev is going for 212.5 kilos. This would bring him up to 370, which would actually put him in the lead, which would actually put him back
in the lead. He's going to be in the lead because he's got 355. 12.5 is going to take him to 12.5 kilos up, 367.5. 367.5. He's got a total at the running total at the moment.
No, it takes 70 because he's already done 197. So 212 will take him to 370, which will actually put him into second place by virtue of
What? Hang on a second.
body weight.
He's going 15 kilos, is this?
This is a 15 kilo
15
jump. And a world record by 7 kilos. Oh my God, look at this.
Unbelievable.
This is incredible.
I have not seen a 15 kilo increase lifted yet.
But he's still got one to come. Remember, he still has a lift to come.
So this could be the European champion who represented Bulgaria in May of this year, now representing Qatar, is one lift away because he's in the lead. He's in the lead. Now, the only thing is, David, we have to go back to the start list because they're both on the same body weight. Now, Vanev was on the top of the list. Badir is on the list.
So the bar remains on 212.5. One lifter remains in this competition. It's Vanev of Bulgaria. So has 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining.
Now, David, let's go through this because it gets quite controversial. If Vanev lifts this and has the same weight, 370, he actually is on the same body weight as Badir. Badir's got there first. Now, therefore, Badir gets the gold medal?
Yes.
Because he's lifted, but 76.
Well, Vanev weighed in at 76.47.
And
Badir was 2.6, so this doesn't actually give him the gold. This puts him in the silver medal position, but it does give him the gold on the clean and jerk, and it does give him a world record.
So Badir of Qatar
can he do it?
He can't do it, and it's Qatar. They've paid the money and they've got the prize. Peter Tanev.
Well, again, it's down to the man who got all the attempts in.
Salem Nayev Badir, 27 years of age, from Shumen in Bulgaria, is world champion at 77 kilos, following his European triumph at this weight 6 months ago.
That's right, and it's a silver medal for the Greek. And Yeliaskov coming in third place. All three lifters, incidentally, totaling 370 medals, places being decided on body weight.
Well, whatever the discussions, the arguments, the Bulgarians will have plenty to chew on here. They sold the second string, and the second string have turned over the number ones. Well, at least Badir's got ahead of Yeliashkov and, of course, Vanev. So, for the first time, the man formerly known as Peter Tanev, now known as Badir of Qatar, takes Qatar's first World Championship title. A total of 370 kilos. But a man who weighed in at 76 kilos, 26, lighter than his closest pursuer, Victor Mitru of Greece, who weighed in at 76, 67, 370 also. But tonight, only good enough for silver. And a bronze medalist in the overall 77 kilo championship, Plamen Yeliashkov of Bulgaria, also on 370 kilos. Time very shortly for us to take our leave. Let me remind you of our website, www.weightlifting Tomorrow, it's Mark Hooster versus Pyrrhus Demas at 9:30 Central European Time, 8:30 for all of you in the British Isles. And myself, David Goldstrom, and David Morgan, bye-bye from Athens.